So Thormun's journal. Let's bring this up here. Where is it? I need to find it. Okay, so we're going to start with journal entry 12. Who would like to read the very beginning of journal entry 12?
I'll speak, because I like talking.
Yes, he does. Sergio Crazy, go ahead.
Journal entry number 12. Try to get the MK Plus Ultra, right?
Yeah.
This is his voice.
Ben, we miss you so much. I don't know if you're listening, but we do miss you, Ben. I hope everything's well with you.
The best Ben impression. Jandar shared his visions about the wellsprings. There are 6 known wellsprings on Valhalla. I recently discovered the 7th in northern Nostraland. There are 15 small chambers around each wellspring. When a wellspring is first discovered, 14 chambers are empty, and 1 chamber contains an amulet. I believe from my visions that these chambers represent the 15 wellsprings on Valhalla, and that 1 amulet will be found in each wellspring upon its discovery. Possession of these amulets is critical, for in my recent visions, Ukar had gained possession of all 15 of the amulets, with catastrophic results.
All right. I'm going to do the next one because I'm going to do my own Jandar voice because in Tales of Valhalla, I do speak some Jandar because I was kind of forced to.
Is that a new language?
What?
Speak Jandar?
Yeah. I speak as Jandar. I am Jandar to everybody.
I am Jandar.
Not willingly, but it's just something.
It's not
I
any
had to
Jandar.
do.
I'm the Jandar.
I'm a Jandar. Jandar E's. Anyway, okay. I'm going to read this first paragraph on 13. All right, Jandar Revelations continued. Okay, wait a minute. I got to get the best voice here. And I alter this, so it's not going to be the same as what's on ToV. But, okay. Nope, it's not coming. But anyway. Around each wellspring are several slightly raised panels with ancient runes. The rune inscribed on 2 side-by-side panels shows a circle of swirling rocks with a star at its center. When a Valkyrie places one hand on each of these panels and concentrates, his visions become more realistic, more vivid and intense. The key is to continue pressing these panels and concentrating, for this will open a portal through which powerful heroes and armies from other worlds and eras may enter. All right, who wants to go next?
All right, I can go next, but I don't know if I can match any voices right now, so
It's okay. I believe in you, Jeremy.
I'm gonna channel my best Odin experience. I don't know. All right. As the portal opens, a spiral of crystals and rocks will rise up from the wellspring, swirling higher and higher in a circular pattern. A bright blue light will pour through the center of the portal. The Valkyrie must quickly fly into this light and through the portal, then use his telekinetic powers to bring the hero or army through the opening. These heroes and armies from other worlds are strong and powerful and provide a great source of reinforcements. All Valkyrie who wish to join us in our fight against the evil Utgard must begin bringing in these critical allies. There you go. I don't know if that works.
Not bad. Hey, I like it.
All right, Jason, you're next.
Yeah, I'm not doing a voice, but sure.
I'll
I don't do voices. That's not my specialty.
Well, okay.
So.
How about you speak as Gearnt, and everybody will be happy.
I thought about trying to do that, and it's like that's That's like a expression thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. Let me just try. Give me a second here.
All right, take a breather. You got it.
All right. My recent visions show me Utgar placing one of the 15 ambulants in each chamber of a wellspring. What am I doing here? He forces a captive human to press his hands against the 2 panels. A portal opens to the planet Earth, and the next event is so horrific that it sends shivers of fear throughout my entire being. A horde of Morrow and these minions fly through the portal, earthbound and feverish to invade and conquer. We will not allow these events to occur, but I'm stuck here in the middle of nowhere for no apparent freaking reason. I believe the Valkyrie who possessed the 15 amulets will gain the ability to control these visions. And will thus be able to invade planets via the portals. Likewise, a Valkyrie who possesses all the amulets will be able to return all heroes and armies to their home planets. This is an idea. You must relay this information only to the Valkyrie who swear their allegiance in this war against Utkar. These are my orders.
Nice.
I think we're gonna have Jason read as Gearnt more in the future. I think we've discovered something tonight. Yeah, I kind of like the ad lib in there.
What did I do?
what did you do, Jason? That was lovely. I like that.
Do I need to start practicing those ahead of time now and figure out where I can add the ad libs in and all that?
And unfortunately, now you probably lose your voice every other Sunday. You remember all those voiceover sessions we had with you shouting, and like by the time we were done, your voice was gone. Anyway, okay, so some important things with this. What would we consider?
Yeah,
being
this is
important
interesting because
Oh, there's a lot to say in terms of like, there's a lot of detail here, but I want to say the most important thing to remember, and I was talking with Ryan about it earlier. We actually read this specific entry back in August, and so like this, not only is these like big stuff for the story of Heroscape as its core, but this was what they were going to base Age of Annihilation on, and we were able to talk about it earlier and kind of like, theorize about what exactly that would reference, because they, Chris told us, hey, this is really important. And we're like, yeah. So we got to talk about this in detail back in August, and so we're back to this now, and it's just I would say first thing to remember is that this is like one of the core stories of Heroscape. Like, this is the foundation experience of why everything is happening. And it's so good. So just remember that.
Yeah, and we talk about like 15 well springs, and I think when we were talking with Chris, I think our conversation led into, are there 15 or are there more than 15? And from what I remember the conversation, I think he was indicating that there was going to be more. So is if I remember correctly, is that right?
I think they were discussing, because they were trying to get through. I remember they were like combing through all the lore, and they were trying to figure out what parts they wanted to keep and what parts they needed to explain. And the debate was, are there more well springs, or are there just a bunch of waters that were confused for well springs and only 15 specific ones exist? It was just, it was one of those things they were getting us to think about a lot. And I think at the end of it, they were saying that was just 15, and then a bunch of like there was a whole network kind of thing, and that they were associated with each other, like connected underground and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, we need more information, and yeah,
and we need terrain. We need tons and tons of terrain. When did it be just aside, just my gaming mind coming to the forefront here? Wouldn't it be awesome to have terrain that was like you would do battle in a wellspring, temple type thing?
They even got one set up. The Wellspring of Obsession was when was that released? 2000, and it had to have been before Swarm of the Morrow, but it was 2 Rise of the Valkyrie Masters, I'm pretty sure, and then like every time someone went into the water, they would get powers.
Mm-hmm.
But if they stayed in the water too long, it was like they just had this whole mechanic set up to it. It was it was a really cool play.
Yeah, well, but I'm talking about terrain like you actually like have terrain that is like a subterranean, like wellspring center, like what's described in some of these journals. You know, you actually have like a rock type of terrain or a wellspring wall terrain and wellspring floor, and actual instead of regular water, maybe sparkly water is wellspring water, and you know, and yeah, that would, I mean. If they release something like that, it would get eaten up. It would get so eaten up. Anyway, okay. I know that's gameplay. It's not lore. So let's go back into the lore here a second. Any other thoughts from Wellspring of Obsession? Any other thoughts from these?
I always.
Oh,
go ahead, Jason.
So on the topic of the amulets that are in each of the well springs, do they do anything other than, in theory, be able to bring people back to a planet?
I think the amulets were hinted at as like the keys to basically start the whole magical combination, because they brought up the amulets again in Sujoa's bio. So this is like jumping far ahead. And when she got the stone, that's what allowed the portal to open. And so they're saying that if you have all 15 amulets, like that allows you to basically reverse the process. So instead of summoning people to Valhalla, all 15 amulets together would allow you to send people back to their home worlds. And Utgar was trying to get all 15 because if he did that, he could send his army to take over the galaxy. And that was his ultimate plan, was to take over Valhalla and then keep going.
But any given amulet is basically has to be used to open a portal on the wellspring to bring people here. Is that the idea? Okay.
Yeah, it was like the, I guess, catalyst, the locust, that kind of thing. It's just something to focus the magic into, I think.
Interesting. Because I know we talked about with Chris talking about, it's like when people are summoned to Valhalla, they're right before they die. Like, is there a way back? Like, can they even go back? Yeah. And so it's interesting
the theory was you get all 15 keys, you can send them back, but you had to find all 15 keys, and they only found 6 before the game ended. So it's like,
right, yeah, because there's only there's so many Valkyrie generals with keys and the amulets, and so. Yeah. So me crossing my fingers that we eventually can get to that.
Get this conclusion. Yep.
But at least at this point, like, we have an objective. There's motive. There's something in the story that drives us and go, oh, snap! Here we are. Cool. What now? Now we gotta go find them. How do we find them? Because we don't even. It's not like we don't even know where, like, Ukar is. We don't know where Einar. Like, I assume that we don't know the location of the Valkyrie generals. And I could only imagine, too, that when they get to, let's say, one of the generals and say, hey, you have an amulet? And they go, what amulet? Like, I wonder if they all knew,
It's... So, to kind of what's going on in this part of the journal, Jandar's telling this to Thormun, right? And Thormun tells this to 3 others. So by the end of the, and kind of jumping ahead here, but by the end of all of this, for Valkyrie, the amulets help cause the wellspring to open, and that if you get all 15, you can send things back. And then later on, when they meet Aquila, right, she already had the amulet. She already knew what that was, but like she found that when she was a kid, so she had been in the summoning thing far longer than they had. So, and that's where they ended, and I was like,
Gotcha.
That's cool, but they never finished it. So
yeah, no, that's why I like this. This is a good one.
It's one of my. That's why, like, when Chris was like, "Hey, read this," I was like, "I know these. Like, I know these journal entries well, because this is some of the best stuff that they wrote."
And there's also, like, within these journal entries, is Jandar prophesying basically about the future as well.
Yep.
And it's not a pleasant future.
Yep. Because yeah, the captive human, like that last part, like that's an event to come that has not happened yet. But Jandar has seen the ultimate conclusion if Utgar was allowed to succeed, is that Mara would invade Earth, and then possibly all the other worlds. You know, all the forces that he had gathered would then start to go to the other planets, and then all the planets would fall under Utgar's control. And it's just like, I mean, that's insane. The entire galaxy overrun by one Valkyrie general. That was what he wanted to do. And it's like, ooh.
I really do have a vision for a live action Heroscape movie.
It would be so cool.
And that the vision that you just said about the Morrow invading Earth, that's not even that is a movie to me that is like after one whole trilogy of films.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That would happen. Like that's
I mean, that is a critical moment. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Morrow dropping onto Earth, and obviously their first goal was to find a swamp, and then they just everywhere.
Well, I imagine the Hive being the first thing that's ported in.
Absolutely. Yeah. They know what they're doing too.
Yeah.
Then imagine they start like absorbing Earth technology because they're like, well, this works, so they incorporate it into their biology because they're biomechanic. So they just start growing Earth technology and using it against humans, and you're like, oh no, it just gets worse, like quickly too.
And I would assume they would know, at least the Hive would have the knowledge of a majority of what's, you know, on Earth based on the humans that they've interacted with already.
Oh yeah, yep.
So like kind of like that one pirate Morrow from Age of Annihilation.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a hint. That was a hint of a future of the Hive. They hinted that there was independence. There was possible independence from the Hive, and that was the hint through the pirate because they were like, yeah, no, he's not connected to the Hive, and we're like, explain.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Do you
independent?
Mean what happened to the Hive? And then we just never got to get that story. We're like, but
we'll have to make our own.
Oh yeah,
yes we
absolutely.
do. Yes we do. Yeah, Rogue Idealist in the chat says here, I wrote a terrible screenplay for Heroscape when I was 14. I've been wanting a live action Heroscape for so long. Yeah, well, some of us are trying to do as best as we possibly can.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job.
Gracias, yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And now, okay. Anything else with these? Because I know, I mean, we are now a little bit over time, but I think these are important to spend another minute on if there's anything else that we observe from it that we want to talk about. When people read these and go through these, at least they have this video, you know, as a point of reference. So anything else that stands out to you guys for these?
No,
I think we went over everything.
Yeah, it gives us a good vision of more about the Wellsprings, and that's something that interests me a lot.
Yeah, base Heroscape is based on this, like the original, and then they were planning on using this as the base for Age of Annihilation. So, just really good stuff on both, I think.
Remember, audience, this was the key moment. This is to remember.
Yep.
Remember this.
So you can watch this episode, and you can watch our episode back in August talking about it. They both connect. It's like
I mean, I still, I mean that. I don't remember what podcast that was, but all the podcasts are there on Spotify for people to listen to. So we can. It'd be Chris's interview. So there you go. Yeah, just find that one on Spotify and listen. Just listen to the lore that's being discussed in there. Oh my goodness, we had so much fun with that. All right. Well, so if there's nothing else, then I will close out this segment of the podcast then. Reading Thormun's journal entry 12, 13, and 14 because we didn't want to leave a cliffhanger for Joe.
No
cliffhangers.